Howdy, howdy. How are we doing today? If you haven't, go ahead and check out my last couple videos. We'll get right into this one. I hope that y'all enjoy. If you do, please comment, like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and it's also free. Now let's giddy up.
Y'all really got to be careful when it come down to going down these conspiracy theory rabbit holes, because, bro, you really can get lost. I'm talking about you will get lost in the depths of your own mind. You get lost simply by engulfing too much knowledge. And there's so many conspiracies I can mention, but I've had a video get taken down before because I've said some of the conspiracies. But y'all know what I mean, though. I know a lot of y'all have heard of P-Gate. You know what I'm talking about, P-Gate? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Underground tunnels all under the U.S. Adrena. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Adrena. Yeah, because I can't say it. I'm going to get the video took down again. Aliens, cryptids, the list goes on and on and on. You start getting into flat earth and giants and Nephilim and all that. Bro, it's so much to go over. You will get lost in the sauce. You literally will lose touch with reality if you go too deep and you don't know how to come back up to reality. Like, y'all really need a kick. Like, y'all remember the movie Inception? You need a kick to kick you back up through the levels that you diving into. I'm trying to tell you, man, this conspiracy theory drive you bonkers.
All right, so if y'all haven't heard of most of those theories, some of them, as you may know, aren't theories. If you've heard of them, if you haven't, go ahead, look into them, do your own research. All up to you to end up making your own decision on what you do believe, what you don't believe. But I get why he's having to be so censored. Everything is, you know, especially whenever there's truth to it, is censored. But like I said, I implore y'all to go ahead and do your own research, look into it, check it out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these salt mines are dead giants. Y'all cannot tell me these salt mines are not dead giants. Bruh, this looks like chunks of meat. Are y'all kidding me right now? This looks like bacon or pork chops. But this is salt from the mine. This looks like blood. Look at it. Look. This looks like the inside of a body. Look at it. Look at it. Bro, they're all just petrified bodies from giants. Look at the resemblance if it started to become petrified over time. Look at it. Look at this one. This one looks like a woman. Look. Look. They all over the world. Humanoid looking entities that are in the shape of mountains and islands and caves. Just look at this one. This is the original image. This is what it originally looks like. But then when you flip it to the side, it looks like a body. Look! You think it's stopping humanoids? Nope. This is like a big ass snake, a big ass petrified snake. It still got the scales. They call this Gorilla Island. Bruh, look at that big ass gorilla. Look at it. It's all over the world. Look at that elephant. Look at that turtle. Oh my God. This world is a lie. The whole thing is a lie.
For anybody out there who eats the pink Himalayan salt, y'all might be thinking different about it now because you see where it comes from. And I'm not going to lie, that seeing those rocks really made me want some bacon. And it is uncanny how much those resembled bodies. It's crazy, you know. And just, if you haven't, go look into Nephilim. Start looking up the history behind the Nephilim. Just saying, if you haven't, go look into it. Enjoy that pink Himalayan salt.
Every single time you don't go to the gym, every single time you tolerate some shit that you didn't really want, your brain teaches you that that's okay. Because your brain learns from repetition. It don't learn from necessarily something being good or bad. It just learns from repetition. Do you know why he can easily bench 500 pounds? Repetition. Do you know why they can't stop popping? Repetition. You see, there is no difference. You just get dopamine from it regardless because it's a repeated behavior. Working out hurts, but you'll still get dopamine from it. Taking feels good, and you get dopamine from it. Spending time with loved ones and people who care about you releases dopamine. But so does spending time with people who ain't good for you and who are toxic. Because if you repeat something enough, you start to get dopamine from it. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Dopamine is received through repeated behavior, consistency, over and over and over and over and over and over. Rather it be you physically doing something over and over, or you mentally thinking about something over and over and over and over. Watch your habits. That's how your brain learns what it needs to be doing on a daily basis. Watch your habits. This is how you train your brain of how you act as a person on a day-to-day basis. Watch your habits. This is how you train your brain to what type of behavior you will accept as a person. I can't stress it enough. Watch your habits.
I wanted to throw that clip in there to end up, showing how impactful a person's habits can be and what can be received from it, whether it be a positive thing or a negative thing. Hey, you know what? If that is true and you get a dopamine hit from creating habit, maybe let's try to make it a positive one, because the biggest thing that I'd heard people getting dopamine hits from was, social media, getting the likes, getting the comments, whatever it may be. But I'm a big advocate, taking a break, not making your whole life about what you post, what you do online, and trying to stay in reality.
This is the largest coincidence in history. See if your history teacher can explain this. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John F. Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John F. Kennedy was elected president in 1960. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost a child while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Now, it gets really weird. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Both were by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who was Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who was Kennedy, was born in 1939. Both were known by their three names. Both names are composed of 15 letters. Now, hang on to your seat. Lincoln was shot at a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, made by Ford. Booth and Oswald were before their trials. And here's the kicker. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe. Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the ran to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the ran to a theater.
You can't look at all that. Look at the details. Look at each piece for each president and not think that is mind-blowing. Is it a coincidence? Was it planned ahead of time for each situation? Just saying, it's very odd. It makes you want to scratch your head. If you haven't heard of that one, now you have.
Okay, so me and the wife just went down the rabbit hole here. Apparently McDonald's sells 6.5 million hamburgers a day. Put that in perspective, one beef cow can do 2,000 hamburgers roughly, or 2,000 hamburgers out of the beef of a whole cow. That's 3,700 cows a day and 97,000 cows a month. 97,500 cows a month. That's what it said it would have to do. 97,500 cows per month to sell 6.5 billion hamburgers worldwide. 6.5 million hamburgers worldwide. What are you eating?
What are we eating? Is it meat? What kind of meat? Is it 100% beef? Like, it says on the signs? Come on, I think we know by now what it is and what it ain't. But y'all make the decisions for yourself. I'm going to say I would stay away from it. It's just me.
I'll just give you one example. If you go to McDonald's, anywhere in the world, you will find French fries, or chips as you call them, and you will find that they're always made from the same potato, the russet Burbank potato. This is a potato from America that's unusually long and difficult to grow, but that's what they want, because when you're McDonald's, you like those red boxes with a little bouquet of very long chips. It looks really good, and so they insist that all their potatoes be russet Burbanks, and they further insist that they have no blemishes at all. There's a very common defect of russet Burbank potatoes called net necrosis. And you've seen potatoes with a little brown line sometimes, or spots that come through it. Well, McDonald's won't buy them if your potatoes have that. And the only way to eliminate that is to eliminate an aphid. And the only way to do that is with a pesticide called Monitor that is so toxic that the farmers who grow these potatoes in Idaho won't venture outside into their fields for 5 days after they spray. And then when they harvest their potatoes, they have to put them in these atmosphere-controlled sheds the size of a football stadium because they're not edible for 6 weeks. They have to off-gas all the chemicals in them. So you see, the desire for a certain kind of chip leads to a certain kind of agriculture.
So what's up with that fry, that potato? You know, why go through all that trouble? You know, I mean, we know why. But I'm just saying, at face value, how he explained it, all those steps that you got to go through to get the perfect fry. I'm just saying, is it really worth it? Y'all like McDonald's fries? Let me know down in the comments below.
I'm the most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why do they not like you?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. They had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gun. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy to wear a dress. You know what I'm talking about.
If you recognize Debo and you know what movie he's from, or movies series that he had played that role in, comment down below, let me know. But he's also got a very valid point, and I commend the man and others that have had the same stance and opinion in that matter. You know, never compromise, you know, what you hold dear to you, your principles, your morals, everything that you believe in, just to get a little bit of pocket change or something that you believe may change your life. Because is it really worth it to the end to compromise your morals and values to end up doing something you know deep down inside you don't want to do and wouldn't do? Just food for thought.
You know, lots of weird things happen to kids all the time, all around the world, every day. You know, I have something to show for it. You know, so it's nice. So
That's a weird way to describe a movie career.
Yeah, pretty
Lots
much.
of weird things happen to kids.
Yeah, man,
But
I'm
I
not
got some money out of it.
Look,
Let me know what y'all think about that. I mean, there's been many videos that have been put out there as far as, you know, how a lot of or certain childhood stars, you know, how at some point they went down a downward spiral, you know, whatever may have, you know, happened to them in their lives, or maybe even during their time when they were acting. It's hard not to think that, how he said it, a lot of them experienced something weird. So what is it, you know, without saying it, what it is that was weird that they, you know, either he and a lot of other childhood stars experienced that he's referencing to? I mean, I know we know. I'm just saying, he's saying it right there. So let me know what y'all think down below.
All conspiracies contain a nugget of truth. Watch this.
About your conspiracy, brother.
There aren't that many conspiracy theories anymore because we found out that all conspiracy theories, there's a nugget of truth in there. It came from somewhere. That's where it became a theory. And then it progressed to the point where it became a conspiracy theory because there was something there. See, in our industry, who pays you is who tells you what narrative you're allowed to use. And I'm not paid, so I own my narrative. Wow. So if in media, somebody's getting paid.
I've got one that can see.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, let me know if y'all remember whenever Cat Williams was going on that, you know, opening up the lid on things tour. You know what I mean? And just exposing and putting a lot of truths, and as he said, nuggets out there. And I mean, if you think about it, if you didn't know before, I mean, that is like where it comes to the conspiracy theories, where there's always, for the most part, little truth and nugget in there. And then think about it like with the aliens and UFOs. You know, how many years was that trying to be denied and played off? Oh no, it's all digital effects. It's fake. There's nothing there. And then, you know, everything else that's being exposed and now coming to light, like, oh yeah, we've got this. We've had these. You know, so when people want to think, oh, you're a tinfoil hat wearer, right? A lot of those people that have been talking about things for years and looked at they were crazy. They don't look so crazy anymore, do they?
Did Kanye actually outsmart everyone and get out of his demonic contracts by acting crazy? Check this
This
out.
will never happen again in history.
Okay.
There will never be a situation where people end a multi-billion-dollar deal off of a tweet.
I wouldn't say never.
Gotcha. So I would like to thank everyone that was
But you can see what he's alluding to.
Thank God no one was hurt in the process. And I feel free.
If he's talking about what I think he's talking about, Kanye is outsmarting all of us. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
So do we remember whenever it was Kanye going out and what people viewed as outlandish things that he was doing, or Kanye's crazy, Kanye's this, and it made me think of certain childhood stars that grew up and were stuck in certain contracts. You can Google this to see which childhood stars I may be talking about that ended up were viewed in the public as going off the rail. They weren't brand friendly anymore. And upon more digging into that, to me, in my opinion, I feel like they did it to get out of certain contracts that they otherwise couldn't have gotten out of had they not been and acted how they were.
How are we not more upset that we've all been scammed?
How did we go from fighting a revolution over a 2% tax on a breakfast
2%.
beverage to what we pay today?
Crazy.
And we're taxed on money when we receive it, when we spend it, when we keep it, when we invest it, and even when we die with it. It gets worse. We commute to work to make that money in a car that is taxed again to register on roads we're already taxed to build, fueled by gas that is taxed even further, and many times through tolls that tax you again. And that's to maintain bridges and highways and tunnels that already have billions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, allocated to them, and they're still falling apart.
The founding fathers would have had 5 revolutions by now.
And they're still falling apart. And then when you get to your office that is taxed to exist, in a corporation that is also taxed to do business, that almost certainly requires permits and other things, which are another tax, you are paid a paycheck that the corporation must match another payroll tax on top of what they have to pay you. Then you go to a home of which you are taxed to own every single year that we bought with money that the government already taxed.
We have to be the most taxed people in the most taxed country on planet Earth of all time. That we give the politicians so much money, and where has it gotten us? It's mind-boggling how no one really cares that much. Stay weird.
Tax. It's like you can't even do the natural and basic things that they used to be able to do, like hunting, fishing. Just two of the things that, that's how, way before grocery stores, way before you could even go and, purchase the food from a store. That's how people, that's how they ate. But no, you got to pay taxes in today's society to be able to go and do that, to be able to drive, like the man was saying. So it's just tax, tax for the basic, necessities and survival of life.
This man warned us about what's happening today back in 2019.
The issue for me, this guy Douglas Rushkoff talks about it. The issue is like when I try to tell kids and parents or whatever, they're coming for every second of your life. That's what these companies are coming to. This company as well. And it's not because anyone is bad. It's not because anyone in this company has evil plans or is trying to do this. They're not even doing it consciously. It's because these companies like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and everything, they went public and they went to shareholders. So they have to grow. Their entire models are based off of growth. They cannot stay stagnant. They're trying to get more engagement from you. We used to colonize land. That was the thing you could expand into. And that's where money was to be made. We colonized the entire earth. No other place for the businesses and capitalism to expand into. And then they realize human attention, that they are now trying to colonize every minute of your life. That is what these people are trying to do. Every single free moment you have is a moment you could be looking at your phone, and they could be gathering information to target ads at you. That's what's happening. So like, as much as we can, as have really good conversations and try to humanize the conversations, the like mechanism of the business is rolling towards that just because of the market. So like, it's coming.
I'm gonna start by saying, whatever happened to Bo Burnham? I have not heard about the guy in years. I can't remember the last time that I heard about him being relevant. But other than that, the dude's coming through with some gems. I can't disagree with him. It's like everything is wanting your attention. The internet, your phone. I mean, if not, then they wouldn't make any money without our attention span being stuck and glued to screens. That's why earlier when I was saying, be able to have time in reality, know where reality is at, and unglue, from the screen. So I can't disagree with the guy. I think he's got a very valid point. Let me know what y'all think down below. Also, if you're enjoying today's video so far, please like, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it.
School is designed to make you a worker on purpose.
At schools, and if you look at the school system, like real talk, what do you do at a 9 to 5?
Work.
Most shifts are what? 8 hours. When you go to school, how long do you sit for?
8 hours.
8 hours. They teach you how to raise your hand when you're spoken to. Walk in single file line. Not one time did they ever teach us how to run a business or a banking account or structure money. Because the world is designed for businesses, but we workers have to keep showing up to pay taxes, so they keep getting richer. Fuck that. Start a business, bro.
This man is exactly right. All the big business magnates at the time, like the early 1900s, designed it to be this way. Stay weird.
The guy has a very valid point. I should say he has very valid points, and I couldn't disagree with him. I mean, there's so many things that I feel like, at least for me, I wish that they would have taught in school, especially finances, balancing checkbook, how to, what would it need? What would you need to become an entrepreneur? How to do those kind of things. And it's just, there's so much that I feel like was taught to me in school that I don't even use. I would dare to say like 95 to 99% of it, and a lot of it was unuseful. So why not teach us the things to help us out, whenever we're done with school, regardless if we choose to go on to college or not, and to be able to be more successful and to know the things that, we should have known before getting to that point of, well, you're out in the world on your own. Now it's on you. You figure it out. But he's right. It's not designed for us to end up thinking that way or, having that drive, ambition, even the thought to end up wanting to start your own business, be your business person, have something for yourself. It's like, no, you're taught to go there, clock in, clock out. You're paying your taxes to keep this company running. You're putting in your time to keep this company running. Meanwhile, it's benefiting the person that owns the company or persons, and what do you get out of it? You may be able to invest in the stock, maybe not. It all depends if they have it. But even then, that's not going to end up guaranteeing you the future that you could have had you ended up being able to start something yourself and have something for yourself.
This piece of bread is proof they are not feeding us actual food anymore. Since when does bread do that?
Food is not food anymore.
Nope.
Like, do you know what azodibicarbonamide bicarbonamide
Never heard of it.
Well, it's an ingredient that's banned in Europe that's used to make foam plastics like yoga mats and shoe soles. Now, we put it in our bread because it makes the dough rise faster, which means more output per hour and more profit for the manufacturer. There's also another ingredient called diacetyl tartaric acid esters of mono and diglycerides. It is a dough conditioner that strengthens the dough and keeps it soft for weeks, extending the shelf life, aka, once again, more profit. The downside is that it leads to inflammation of the heart. Calcium propionate, a preservative. It prevents molding, which maybe a lot of us haven't seen in our food in a while, but it does happen naturally if you don't eat your food. It is linked to a bunch of developmental issues, motor and cognitive impairments, language delay, dementia, seizures, autism. In fact, here is a pretty long list of chemical ingredients that are commonly found in our store-bought bread here in America that's banned or restricted in other countries. So if you're feeling bloated, foggy, tired, inflamed, breaking out, or just off, you might want to check the bread.
And we wonder why there's so many problems in the world with people. Look at what we are being fed. Maybe there is something to the point that people have about, oh, back in the day it was less crazy. It's so crazy nowadays. Well, maybe this is why. Not this piece of bread specifically, but all these chemicals in everything that they sell us now, essentially. I don't know. Am I tripping or what? What do y'all think? Stay weird.
How many of y'all are enjoying some yoga mats? I would have never known, had it not been for that clip, that there was an ingredient. I'm not saying in every bread, but at least in that bag that he was looking at, that was the same ingredient or compound used in yoga mats. That just blows my mind. If you think about it, I have noticed there are certain brands of breads that even I've gotten where it will go well past, if I let it sit that long, it's the only way I've noticed that it sit past the expiration date, certain amount of time with no molding, and then other brands that will start molding just about the same day as the date on the packaging or slightly before. So, I advise there's an app, I think it was called Yuka, Yoba, something like that. If you just do some Google search for the app, it's got like a little carrot in the picture. Any rate, you can end up scanning barcodes and it'll break down all the nutrients there, all the ingredients, everything that's in, the product. And it'll tell you, give you a score, and whether it be a good score or bad score, it'll tell you why it got that score, what's in it, and a lot of them is alarming. You could just simply go around your house, start scanning the barcodes, and then figure out like, whoa, I've been eating this for that long, and look what it could have been doing. And there's so many things that cause inflammation, ingredients, preservatives, things that are put in the food. So advocate for trying to find that app. If I remember it, I'll put it down in the comments whenever I go to find it. But at any rate, that's today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.